Welcome to day 22 of this awesome self-love experiment. And I wanted to reflect with you and hear how it's going for you. Have you been following along? Have you been inspired at all to love yourself more and to prioritize yourself? I know yesterday was Valentine's Day, and I am very interested to know what came up for you. How are you feeling? Were you feeling down? Were you feeling excited? Did you take it as an opportunity to commit to yourself, to commit to your practices, and to commit to a little bit of self care and self love? I know that I did. And a couple of you have been asking me to reflect on how this process has been for me so far. And I wanted to share because I think reflection is really important. And we're about halfway through this project. I can't even believe it. We're already at day 22, which is a powerful master number. And I love 22 because it's all about setting foundations. And again, 21 days is all about, well, they say, who knows who they are, right? Scientists say that 21 days is how long it takes to set up a new cycle and to create a new habit. And now 22 days in, my reflection is that this has been a really powerful practice. And I'm not going to lie, you know what? I am a really private person and I don't actually really like putting my whole life online. It's very awkward and uncomfortable and has pushed me to a growth edge. But the reasons why I did it were I wanted to inspire those of us who feel down, who forget about ourselves, and who don't prioritize our self love, our self care, and our practices because it is really important. And I also wanted to challenge myself to push up against a very uncomfortable edge because I know that when I am vulnerable and show up and am completely where I'm at, then it's really powerful for other people to see and for all of us, right? We're all interconnected beings. I truly believe in the grander web of life and that we call in people to reflect aspects of ourselves that we need to be aware of to others. And that's the gift of not just being on the human island, right? And because of COVID and disconnection over the last couple of years, I know that this is an important practice for me, but also to share with others that you are worth it and that you are worth carving out that time for. So I wanted to reflect on this process so far. And my process it has not been easy to show up live every day. There's been moments when I didn't want to push myself there, wanted to just be tired, prioritize the other busy things in my schedule. But with that being said, showing up consistently has been really awakening to aspects of me that I am growing in, right? Showing me how far I can go to open up, to share and be real. And that's really what it's about, real connection. And in that process, I've realized that pushing myself through the discomfort, through the vulnerability and openness, through the not wanting to do it, right? Like there's sometimes that inner part of you that's like, I don't want to do it, like wants to drag my feet, right? Finding that I meet that part of myself and there's a reflection there for me. Just like when you're growing, you're ascending on your path and fear is there to greet you. You just say, hi, fear, I see you. You're an important character that's showing me that I'm on the right track. And to move past that fear after we wave and say, hi, you're a great, what's the word? Uh, I'm forgetting the word I'm looking for. Guidepost. That's it. That's a good one. Fear is a good guidepost for we are on the right track, right? Fear is going to come up to sabotage us or to show us that success or connection or abundance, whatever that thing is on the other side of those fears, if we continue to push ourselves past that point of discomfort into where there's a new growth opportunity. And that's one of the things I was going to be talking about in my private Facebook group later today because I do live weekly workshops. It's Witchy Wisdom Wednesday, which I absolutely love. We have so much fun over there, and you're invited if this resonates with you. It's a free group, of course. Today, we're going to be talking over there about how our biggest heartbreaks are activation points for us to elevate and break through to the next level. And just like Rumi says, it's the wound where the light is let in. And it's important because sometimes we don't want to grow past the growth edge. We want to wallow in the sadness or I don't want to do this. And we miss the opportunity to grow and expand beyond that self imposed, I feel like I have to say it again, the self-imposed limits that sometimes we can create with the mental chatter that we have that distracts us from the goal, distracts us from the connection, and can sabotage us from getting to the next level. Whether it's an important message you have to share, whether it's something that you really want, but you're secretly scared of achieving it, right? There's all sorts of ways that the monkey mind can come in and sabotage those experiences for us. And what happens when we decide instead to lean into the wound that actually wants to activate us and take us to the next level and bring in something that we've never experienced before that's even better than something that we ever could have imagined? And knowing that these activation portals are here as a helper, as an assistance, as an initiation into what's next. Because oftentimes we get really attached to certain things, whether it's, being a private person and not wanting to show up, all consistently, whether it's moving into a different direction in your career, into your passion and your purpose, but having your 9 to 5, not wanting to leave that, right? There can be these fears that we have that want to keep us safe because that's all we know. But when we surrender to what is cracking open, and I'm saying this, and it's very relevant for all of us right now because we have Pluto who is moving through the final degrees of Capricorn before it moves into Aquarius. And it will retrograde, it will go back in, it will be moving along this cleanup point in the astrological chart for everyone. And it's important to look at, I'm super into astrology. I like to use astrology as one of the secret weapons when I work with my clients and when I teach them some of the shamanic tools, because we can unlock so much and unpack so much from our personal astrological charts if we dive in there and see that there's an opportunity for us to clean up an old belief, clean up an old structure that's no longer supporting us. And it's this fear of getting to the next level, getting to something that is just out of reach, that's on the other side of that discomfort zone where all of the possibilities lie. So this is relevant to all of us because if we don't lean in to how that can activate us and how there is something better, we choose to stay stagnant in an old paradigm or an old pattern or an old circumstance that doesn't serve us, when what we want is actually beckoning to us on the other side so powerfully that it has decided to crack us the F open to have that awakening. So that's part of why I'm doing this. The self-love challenge, the self-love experiment, 40 days of self-love is about cracking us open to where it becomes uncomfortable to show up fully for ourselves. And again, showing up on camera for 40 days is very different than just doing a private ritual, which is why I wanted to hold myself accountable and to hold us all accountable to create that container to really love ourselves and challenge beyond that portal, beyond that space that we're comfortable, to get to the next level. And so if you're curious and want to learn more about how your own wounds and the biggest heartbreaks you've experienced are actually activation points, that even if they happened 20 years ago, you can still access them for a new opening to springboard to a new life that you actually want to create. And your higher self, your oversoul, is actually trying to co-create with you through breaking you open, then I invite you over to check out that talk. It's a free talk. We do them every Wednesday over in Healing Soul Wounds with Ancient Shamanic Tools. I'd love to have you there. And I'd love to hear how it's going for you. Have you been challenging yourself to show up for yourself in a new way? Have you followed along? Have you fallen off? What has been your experience? And I'd always love to hear from you. And of course, if you have any questions, always reach out to me. I love connecting with all of you. And I'm so grateful for this practice. I'm grateful for your witnessing. I'm grateful for your participation. And I'm just sending you so much love. Happy, happy, happy Wednesday. And I hope you had a really beautiful Valentine's Day. And you can tell me about that too. And I hope to see you over in my Facebook group. We do our talks at 11 a.m. every Wednesday for Witchy Wisdom Wednesday. So big hugs to y'all. I hope you're feeling inspired. And I wish you the most beautiful day today. Bye.